Coming up on Mountain News at 6, a Perry County woman faces several charges after police say she was keeping more than 100 animals inside a home. And officials with one Letcher County city are encouraging folks to clean up their property or they could lose it.
Beautiful day today. Sunshine in abundance and high temperatures climbing up into the 50s. Even warmer for the rest of the week ahead. All of the full forecast on the way.
Dedicated to Eastern and Southern Kentucky, this is WYMT Mountain News at 6.
A Perry County woman was recently charged with animal cruelty. Mary Elizabeth Coots was found with more than 10 dozen cats, dogs, and exotic animals inside her home in the Delphia community of Perry County. The sheriff's office, along with Fish and Wildlife, called in the Kentucky River Regional Animal Shelter to assist. As WYMT's Olivia Calfee reports, shelter president Tony Vaughn says it was unlike anything he has seen before, and we want to warn you, some of the images in this story may be disturbing.
In all my years in law enforcement, I've been in a lot of homes. That was definitely in the top 5. I mean, it was filled with feces. I mean, every ounce of it.
Kentucky River Regional Animal Shelter President Tony Vaughn says it was a total of 129 animals. According to the arrest citation, Mary Elizabeth Coots was charged with second-degree animal cruelty. Vaughn says the conditions were deplorable.
She had made the statement to me while I was there that, you know, they caught her on a day that she didn't clean. And I'm thinking to myself, with 129 animals, you can't stop cleaning. If you've got that many animals to feed, water, clean after, you better be doing it every day you're awake.
Due to an already overcrowded shelter, Vaughn says he was approved by county officials to temporarily house the animals at Little Leatherwood School. And to Vaughn, this is the perfect example that more needs to be done to address the problem.
Part of the issue is, you know, our state laws are so weak. As a matter of fact, I'll be speaking in Frankfurt Thursday, and hopefully we can address some of this and try to get some of this under control. Backyard breeders, the transfer of these animals, all these should be serious considerations. To be ranked 46th out of the nations is just unacceptable. We have to do better.
According to the Animal Legal Defense Fund, Kentucky ranks 46th, which is considered the 5th worst state regarding animal protection laws in the country. In Perry County, Olivia Calfee, WYMT Mountain News.
In the last week, all but 7 of the animals have been placed in the hands of various rescues working with the shelter. A suspect is in custody in a murder investigation out of Rowan County. 35-year-old Matt Jones is charged with the death of 60-year-old Earl Glover. Kentucky State Police say the two were fighting and that Jones hit Glover several times. Glover died at the hospital. New details about a shooting in eastern Kentucky that forced 5 schools to go on lockdown. According to court documents obtained by our sister station, the documents show Pedro Tereses pulled a gun during an argument over a four-wheeler and shot someone. That person was flown to a Lexington hospital. We do not know their name or condition. After an 18-hour manhunt, police found Tereses. He is facing several charges, including assault. In Laurel County, a Letcher County man is facing 2 counts of assault after police say he hit a woman in the back of the head and drug her by her hair. It happened last Saturday when sheriff's deputies were dispatched to a home off Line Creek Road. After they arrived, deputies say they heard sounds of people fighting in the home. 30-year-old John Ritchie of Jenkins was taken to the Laurel County Correctional Center. A barn in southern Kentucky was destroyed in an overnight fire. The Monticello Fire Department shared these pictures. Crews say it started just after midnight on Highway 3284 in Wayne County. It took firefighters about 2.5 hours to clear the scene. There are no reports of injuries. As the Mountain Parkway expansion continues, the progress is a good sign for many in the region. But as WYMT's Buddy Forbes shares with us, the project also includes some proposals that have one McGoffin County widow begging for another way.
Janet Arnett's family sees her McGoffin County property as much more than meets the eye.
When I was growing up, Mamaw's house was always kind of this like place of refuge where I could go and we cooked together, and this is where I grew up playing in the creek catching crawdads and catching lightning bugs.
A magical source of hope that looks a lot like a house.
It's a small house, but to me, it's a mansion.
Now Arnett worries the home and life she and her husband Lowell built are about to be demolished.
We don't want her to be collateral damage for a project that has been in the works for years.
The McGoffin-Floyd segment of the Mountain Parkway has a proposed path right through the 63-acre home place that has served generations.
This was our epicenter of our family, and Mamaw's house will always be Mamaw's house, whether it's right where it is or where it's down near the road, but it's tough if Mamaw's house gets bulldozed.
Arnett says the idea of losing her home has weighed on her health, adding it is hard to understand how a different solution cannot be found.
A little farther down that way or a little farther up that way. Why does it have to come through my house?
But every attempt to keep her home on the property she has owned for more than 50 years has been met with a list of development issues and disappointment.
Somewhere on these 63 acres, let her move this house. Figure it out.
So she is left pleading for someone to look past the plan in place and at the people impacted.
I'm 76. You know, I'm not going to be around too much longer, but why can't I stay here in my house, my house?
Holding tight to her hope and even tighter to her home. In McGoffin County, Buddy Forbes, WYMT Mountain News.
The family says they support the mission to improve the region, but they believe there has to be a way that does not mean Arnett losing everything, saying it is not about the money, but the memories.
Hard pressed to find a cloud in the area today, enjoying sunshine as you look here from Buffalo Mountain. All across the area, the sky is blue, the sun is out. Whitesburg showing you the sun starting to get ready to dip below the horizon here in the next little bit, couple hours. We are at the upper 40s to around 50 degrees for the latest temperature. And as you look at Hazard, just as much sun glistening all across the area. Here's our latest temperatures with readings from the low 50s around Logan, mid 50s Pikeville, Grundy, to the upper 50s towards Harlan and Jacksboro. You're even as warm as 61 right now. What a mild day. Beautiful day. And it's going to get even warmer for the rest of the week. Satellite radar loop shows just a few leftover clouds from early this morning in West Virginia. That's it. 12 hours worth of this loop shows nothing in the way of clouds for us. The air very dry thanks to high pressure centered right here over the Kentucky and Tennessee Valley back on through the Central Plains. Some moisture to the south and energy to the west will affect us down the road in the forecast, but we're talking several days. I'll look at that in 7 days in just a little bit. Nice night tonight, Steve, as temps drop out of the 50s into the 40s, 20s and 30s to start tomorrow. More sunshine is ahead. I'll have more on that coming up.
All right, Mace, thank you. There are 3 finalists vying for Education Commissioner now here in Kentucky. One of those candidates is out of our region. The Lexington Herald Leader reports Lawrence County School Superintendent Dr. Robbie Fletcher has been in that role for nearly 10 years. Fletcher has also been a principal, assistant principal, and math teacher in the Martin County school system. The 2 other finalists for Education Commissioner besides Fletcher are Buddy Berry and Jim Flynn. This spring, city officials in Jenkins are encouraging folks to start cleaning up their yards. WYMT's RJ Johnson explains.
Having a clean city is one of the priorities being discussed amongst officials in Jenkins. Mayor Todd Dupree says they want folks to take pride in the community.
We just want people to be, proud of the community, and we have lots of folks that are, and they take real good care of their property, but they may have folks in the neighborhood that's not doing a good job of keeping it cleaned up. So, it doesn't have to be mansions, but, trash, garbage, litter, keeping the grass cut, and, just normal stuff.
Saying it can even help bring in more opportunities to the city.
A clean city is easier for us to promote for economic development. When those folks come in to do site surveys and look, they don't just go to the industrial park, drive around and leave. They drive through downtown, they drive through neighborhoods, they check on the schools, they check on, what's here in town to support the business they may be wanting to put in. So
Dupree says the city will have pickups where people can place unwanted trash free of charge.
if that fails, then, you know, we can look at taking city crews and going in and doing the cleanup, you know, abating the nuisance, whatever it is, whether it's garbage, trash, or weeds, or bushes, or whatever's got it the shape it's in.
If that doesn't fix the issue, Dupree says they are even discussing the possibility of putting a lien on a property and ultimately acquiring it themselves. However, that can be avoided by simply picking up around the yard.
That's something we don't want to have to do, but it is an option. You know, we try to warn people and say, hey, you know, here's the issue, and you've got to get cleaned up. And so we normally do a warning, give them a little while. You know, if they do work on it and get it cleaned up, that's good.
In Jenkins, RJ Johnson, WYMT Mountain News.
Dupree says they will work with folks that might not be able to clean up on their own.
Talk about a great forecast today, great weather today, great forecast ahead. Lots of sunshine and even warmer temperatures. I'll have more on that coming up after the break.